Hello everyone, and welcome to another broadcast for the MRL. Today we are here, of course, for the Japanese Grand Prix. It'll be the first race of the week around Suzuka, one of my personal favorite circuits. My name is Strifium here from Canada, and it is Tier 2 Division Racing for the Americas. And I am very excited, extremely excited to get into racing action around here. Of course, let's take a quick look at the circuit. We have 18 turns, 5.807 kilometer circuit, the only figure 8 circuit on the calendar, and what an awesome drive it is around here. Really fun exchange of turns, and well, we have the hairpin, the iconic 130R, and a whole whack of different sections to play with, just like that Sector 1S section. Now, of course, we take a look at the calendar, and we have 4 more rounds after this one. We're here for the 18th run of the season. However, the 3rd round for this division last week in Russia is where we were. Now next week we'll head on over to the United States. Following that, Mexico, Brazil, Abu Dhabi. Massive shout out to our partners Next Level Racing. You can check them out via the link in the description on their website for some amazing racing rigs, quality wheel stands, as well as motion sims, light rigs. They've got really everything you need to take your racing, essentially your flying, to the next level. Now we take a look at the standings here. Jimsy leading things in the Alpha Tauri. We have Duke Kaboom, and then right behind him, Captain Minor. It's going to be a very intense championship, as there aren't many rounds in it. Exhibition grid, so to speak, ahead of the Season 5 MRL action coming. With all of that being said, we are just about ready to go racing. Everyone knows. Super fun circuit, Suzuka, of course, and we have 20 drivers in here. I'll take you through who's racing on this grid once we get into qualifying. We're going to have 18 minutes of qualifying, and it's going to be a 50% distance campaign. Dynamic weather, meaning these drivers are going to get that roll of the dice you would see in the MRL races for Tier 3, 2, 1, as well as Tier 1 Americas now and APAC division. So they will get that roll of the dice for weather. They're going to get the exact same rule set, no ghosting, strict corner cutting, and it's going to be a really fun time now as the clock ticks down to 0. Away we go into the session. Now, of course, I will be commentating this race this evening. It's not my first rodeo for a solo cast, so rest assured I'll keep you all in on the action. I'll take you through who is racing on this grid. Hoping to see some rain. I think that some rain would be really nice, as I've seen a couple of wet races in league racing around Suzuka in my time commentating, and they've been very fun to watch. So my fingers are crossed. I imagine the drivers, on the other hand, not really looking for any wet weather. Now all drivers are loading into the session. We're going to get the first look, and it is all sun here in the qualifying around Suzuka. And we'll get ourselves situated with who's on the grid today. We have the Turtle Rave over driving the Haas. We have Gazieg today in the Williams. Jimsy in one of the Alpha Tauris. His teammate for the campaign will be, of course, Captain Minor. We have Polo Q in the partnering Haas, as well as Babatunde in the Renault. Larkin here in the Alfa Romeo. Steph in the partnering Williams to Gazieg. And we have Will Gibson in 9th position for Mercedes, with Cheery rounding out the top 10 drivers on the timing tower presently. He'll be in the Ferrari. Sidewinder 11th. Wordad 12th. We have Jack 5 on the timing tower. He is in the Red Bull with Sidewinder. Paula, 14th position for her on the timing tower at the minute. She is here in the Mercedes. Stoltz in the Alfa Romeo. Waffle is in the McLaren. We have Holly Punk in one of the Ferraris, as well as Simply, JA Games, and Duke Kaboom on the grid. Renault, McLaren, and Racing Point, respectively. First driver out, conveniently. Well, the driver at the top of this timing tower, it is Turtle Rave, giving us a view of Sector 1. And it would appear we've already got a yellow flag through Sector 1, potentially a car off. Who is that? Erie appears to have had an issue. We're going to take a look at that front wing, and Hopefully everything is intact for him. Hate to see it if he had an issue already. Good. Whatever reason, spectator controls were not cooperating with me there to give me a solid view of that car. But it is, yes, Turtle Rave leading this field out of the pit lane in the Haas. And he is at the top of the timing tower. He'll be the first driver to give us a run around this iconic circuit. What a fun time around here it is. Flying through 130R now, coming into the final real sequence or section, if you will. The Casio Triangle Chicane. Now out of the final turn. Here we go for a run. Welcome to Suzuka. Turtle Rave takes us away in the Haas. Alright, now we come down through turn 1, a very fast section, leading us through into what can be a very difficult section of circuit. Of course, the Sector 1 S's. Navigating them fairly well, trying to keep his car tight through the curbs on the apexes of these turns as he comes through Dunlop now. This can be a very hit and miss turn. If you carry too much, you could be going around. And now we come through the first and the second Degner under the tunnel, or through the underpass, we'll say here, into the hairpin. This is the first run of the session. Everybody coming to grips with this circuit. Now we'll head down through into Spoon. What a section of circuit this is. Utilizing the curbs a little bit here, keeping things tight to the inside. Now onto the exit curbing, and it's still a green lap here. No invalidation with the strict corner cutting here. Now into the 130R section. Through into the Casio Triangle, the final chicane. And this will be a lap of Suzuka, ladies and gentlemen, for the Haas Turtle Rave. What's the time going to be for the first run? It's a 27-1 here for America's Tier 2, and there goes Simply second across the line with a 27.745. Jack 5 says hi. He is in the Red Bull this evening. It was a 27.570, and Will Gibson has now taken provisional pole in the Mercedes with a 26.5. Polypunk, Spaniard in the Ferrari, will take a provisional front row seat next to the Mercedes. He's in second. We have Captain Minor coming through into fifth. He bumps Simply back. Gaziag, no time set. Who is that? Sidewinder into third. Solid times coming through on this grid so far. 8 drivers getting times through. Steph in the Williams not on a run. We'll take a look at Paula. Nothing doing just yet. Who is that crossed the line? Duke Kaboom in the Racing Point with a very, very solid run. An Alfa Romeo just crossed the line. That was Larkin, a 27.881 for him. You like to see it. Good from Larkin. Going to be a very different race to the race we saw last week in Russia. Russia was a little bit of a different kind of exchange, as Werdad went 7th quickest here. It was a 27.602. We take a look at the gaps right now from first down through the grid. Will Gibson, Polypunk, they're separated by just around a tight margin of a 10th here around Japan. Duke Kaboom, 5/10 off of pole position here, just half a second shy is the Racing Point. And we have Sidewinder, Turtle Rave locked within 0.04 of a second of one another. Meanwhile, 6th through down to Larkin in 11th. Things start to taper off a little bit. Werdad within a second of the pole sitter right now. Will Gibson, that 126.512. Polo Q flying through Dunlop now. Someone else just crossed the line. Doltz in the Alfa Romeo with a solid run into 4th at 27.098. A few more drivers on their way into the pit lane now, but we'll keep things on board with the Haas partnering the first driver to get a time on the board. Turtle Rave, of course, it's Polo Q. He's coming out of the hairpin now, and he's going to be heading down into Sector 3, trying to get everything dialed in as perfectly as he can through Spoon. And as we come into this section of circuit, what is the split going to be as we enter the final sector? 105, 106, 107, ticking up now. 111.432 for Polo Q coming through Sector 2. We'll see what he's able to do as he crosses that start-finish line, utilizing that battery right now. Low fuel light is on. What's it going to be for the Haas driver to the line? It's only good for 12th at the minute. It's a 27.768. Babatunde now, he looks to be on a low fuel run of some capacity, or they have had an issue in that Renault. Paula, nothing doing at the minute. JA Games, aka Jaga Memes, or of course Gator Williams, coming down in the McLaren. This, of course, the night following the fantastic third place finish for the McLaren driver Lando Norris in the 2021 Monaco Grand Prix. Here comes Jay now. To the line. What's it good for? Well, it's good for a 27.495, 7th position in the first run out of the McLaren. We have 10 minutes counting down now. And I'd like to take this moment, 10 minutes remaining in session, to thank our fantastic partners, Next Level Racing. Of course, you can check them out via the link in the description below. They have a great website featuring an awesome view of all of their great products. They have sim racing rigs of a very large capacity, a light capacity. They also have wheel stands, motion sims, everything to take for racing from beginner to advanced to the next level, no matter what skill level you are. Of course, we have an event coming. It's going to be the Misfits Grand Championship. That will be taking place in a few weeks' time, so stay tuned for that. More information on that can be found on our website, misfitsrl.com. There's a link to that in the description down below as well. Jimsy, nothing doing from him at the minute. Steph in the Williams, he has yet to set a time here. We'll jump on board with him as he comes through the first and now the second Dagner Purple through Sector 1. And Steph, a former MRL European Division driver in the Season 3 campaign. And, well, we'll have to see what he's able to do here in this division. He hasn't been driving nearly as much in the 4th season. And, well, coming through Spoon now. Also have Waffle. Waffle crosses 7th position. The McLaren driver. A 27.297, and the McLarens are holding up that 4th row presently. Steph now in the Williams, coming through Sector 3 into the final chicane. What's it going to be for him? Stefano to the line. It's good for 3rd. What a time from the Williams. 26.882. Great stuff. We take a look again now at the gaps. Things are getting a little bit tighter in and around this grid. Will Gibson still the solid run, holding onto that provisional pole. Polypunk has had an issue at the moment and will not be improving. Steph, well, he's looking solid in that Williams right now. Who's that? Turtle Rave crosses. We saw his first run. It was the first run of the session. Now he's improved on it into the sub 127s, and we have a few more drivers coming through now. Simply into 2nd position. 26.585. Jack 5 follows him through a 26.675. Polypunk between them right now on a non-improved lap run. You can see that front left a little bit damaged on this Ferrari. That's something you really don't like to see if you're a Ferrari fan. Cough, cough, myself included. And he'll be heading, of course, into the pit lane to try and get himself set up for maybe a better run. Bolts in the Alfa Romeo, currently coming out of the, well, the hairpin is what I was trying to say, and I lost my words for a moment there. Forgive me as we come into Spoon. The Alfa Romeo driver looking to improve on that 127.098. He is just shy of setting a sub 127 here, and I think he might have it in hand. As you can see, that low fuel light is on, and look at what he's got in hand coming through out of 130R right now. It's almost 3/10 an improvement for him. He comes through the final chicane. Is he able to maintain that to the line? The Alfa Romeo Tholtz, what's he gonna do? It's 5th. He improves. It's a 26.865, and he sets himself up as the 7th driver now in this session to go sub 127, and you love to see it. Simply has had a retirement, and that is on track. Where has he crashed? And that looks like it could very well be underneath. Oh no, it's out of 130R. He's had a major issue, Simply, and he's crashed that car. So he will most definitely not be improving, and that is something you really don't like to see. Larkin, coming out of the chicane, had a little bit of a slide, and like that will be it for him. Babatunde now, no time set for him. The Renault driver coming through in the 130R, just ahead of him, a McLaren. That's JA Games on an outlap. And we'll see what Babatunde is able to do once he gets through out of the final chicane. He's coming up just on the rear of JA. To the line for Babatunde, the first time set for him. It's a 27-1. JA now just in front of him, starting a run. The McLaren coming in through the first sector. We'll take a look at what he's able to get through onto the board. Looking to improve on a 27.495. Not the best run out of a driver, well, who's been reserving in all sorts of divisions in and around the MRL with some fairly decent results. We'll see what he's able to do. Hopefully we can find an improvement. Looking a little shaky through Dunlop right now. Yeah, he is definitely not feeling this run. As you see, he has not improved coming through this first sector, and he opts to pull offline for the Renault behind. That's Babatunde, or Simply out of this session. Polo Q, 27.768, the time for him. He is on the move coming through the first sector. Turtle Rave, his teammate for the session, pulling off to the side there, trying to get himself the heck out of Dodge as we come up Dunlop now. There's a big snap for him. He gets it corrected. Let's see what he's going through here. He has improved in Sector 1 despite the snap for the Haas. You saw he nearly lost control coming through Dunlop, which is something you really don't want to be doing. We come now into the hairpin. At all these times, this is going to be a very fun and exciting race. I imagine there is less than a second separating 14 drivers at the very least on this grid, all on the soft compound tires. We saw Cheery set his run on the soft compound, or excuse me, the medium compound tires, but he is on an outlap with the softs, which is great to see. Polo Q now coming through 130R. You can see a little bit of traffic there, pulled off to the inside coming into the chicane. What are we going to see from Polo Q? Duke Kaboom ahead of him on his way into the pit lane after setting a time within half of a tenth, within 0.45 of Will Gibson, but it's Polo Q. He has gone a little bit quicker here. 27.525. Shiri going to be looking to improve on his 16th position right now. He is going to be trying to do that on the softs in just a moment as he begins his run. Take you through to another driver who's on the move. It's the other Haas, Turtle Rave. He's coming through Sector 1. And who is that? Jimsy in the AlphaTauri. Well, say hello to Jim, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 26.319, and what a solid run out of him. It's just shy of 2/10 up on Will Gibson, who's presently on an outlap. Get in there, Jim. Gibson on an outlap right now. We'll check back on over to Cheery. Cheery struggling. The Spanish driver right now in the Ferrari, not going to be feeling the Fernando Alonso vibes, or at the very least the Carlos Sainz vibes at the moment in that Ferrari. That is very unfortunate. Having a bit of a track cutting moment there, and that is quite interesting. Polo Q, he is pulled off on his in-lap here, and you can see Turtle Rave, his teammate, he was on a flyer, has invalidated, which is not going to be good for their final run opportunities. But I do believe Turtle Rave saving. He doesn't have a fuel light on. Could we see him drive another shot? 2 minutes on the clock. What a cut through the Casio triangle here, and he is going to send that straight into the pit lane, thankfully. I imagine it gave him a solid invalidation for maybe his next run there if he had been trying to get something through. Fury now. We'll see if he gets on a lap. A couple of other drivers have just begun. Seems to be a trending thing, that runoff of the chicane. Polly One Ferrari on a flyer. At the very least, I don't think... Well, maybe he was on a flyer. It looks like he might have dropped it. He went third quickest, and I think I might have missed it. A 26.481 from Polypunk here. Very nice time to jump Will Gibson. Will Gibson, well, let's take a look at the Mercedes he's flying right now, and he was provisional pole for a good chunk of this session. We have a minute and a half less counting down now. There he goes. Will Gibson, ladies and gentlemen, the Mercedes. A 26.241. A very nice run from him with a minute remaining in this session. Big question is, will anybody be able to do anything about it? Well, maybe Jack 5 can do something about it. We'll have to see what the Red Bull has in hand as he makes his way through Sector 1. There's a variety of other drivers presently on runs right now. Waffle pulled off to the inside ahead of the first Degner. Ooh. Well, I don't recall who it was I was speaking with ahead of this race asking me where you can invalidate or take a warning or exceed, but I think Jack 5 might have just found a very good place to do that as he's blown his run. I think it might have just been him asking me too. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Now, Waffle I don't believe is on a flyer. No, he most definitely isn't given his Sector 2 Delta at the Sidewinder. Does not appear to be on a flyer. Tholtz, yes, the Alfa Romeo is on his way into Spoon. Nearly encountering Will Gibson there as some traffic. Who's this? Captain Miner pulled off to the right-hand side. Steph, Polypunk, and Turtle Rave have all caught the checkered flag now as the session draws to a close. Word ad. I do believe he might be on a run. We'll check in with him in just a second. Here comes Tholtz. To the line for him. What's it good for? It's good for 8th. The 26.694 Word ad is not on a flyer. Babatunde is. Check in with him. Duke Kaboom. Well, the Racing Point, he's on a flyer. Can he take pole position? The Racing Point coming out of the chicane now. Can he get pole? No. It's good for an improvement. He jumps Polypunk. That's 4th position for Duke. We move back to the Renault now. Babatunde on the move. He is looking to improve as we come through Sector 3. He is up nearly 4/10 on this time. Coming into the chicane. The Renault driver, what's he got in hand here? What's he able to do as he comes across through to set a time? What's it going to be for him? It's good for 9th. A 4/10 improvement. It's a 26.698 according to the timing tower. Sector top right is giving us a 699. The timing tower can't even make up its mind. But that is a solid 9th position for Babatunde. And ladies and gentlemen, if I am not mistaken, that is going to round out this 18-minute qualifying session for all of these drivers to get their best times set here around this Japanese Suzuka circuit. Of course, we're here at the Suzuka International Racing Course with Will Gibson on pole position in the Mercedes. A 126.241 was the pole time with Jimsy very tight to the rear of that Mercedes. In the AlphaTauri, the American, 0.078 gap to the British driver ahead of him. And of course, Steph has not let them go either. The Italian stallion in the Williams this evening here. Less than a 10th separating him from the front two as well. Duke Boom just shy of 2/10 off the rear. We have Polypunk there rounding out our top 5. And of course, I'll go through the rest of this grid with you all on the formation lap. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to sunny Suzuka, it would seem. I haven't had a weather report, and I haven't had my telemetry up, but that is totally all right because the suspense is what we like. Now, as we look at this formation lap in this grid, I just want to remind you that this is Suzuka, and this has been home to many iconic races over the course of history through Formula One and motor racing. Anything can happen. Now, last week we had quite a few safety cars through Russia. I'm keeping my head and my eyes wide open for what may happen in this campaign this evening. Now, of course, with that being said, welcome to the Americas Tier 2 action here in Japan. Now, massive shout out to our partners Next Level Racing. Check them out in the link below. Have a great website with all of their great quality high-end racing rigs, motion sims, wheel stands, light rigs. They have everything you really need, but now it's time to get down to business here. 27 laps around the Suzuka International Racing Circuit. Again, it is Will Gibson on pole position, Jimsy in second. We have Steph in third, Duke Kaboom in fourth, Polypunk in the Ferrari, he is in fifth, Simply in sixth, Jack 5 will be in seventh for for Red Bull. Simply is in the Renault. Bolts is here in eighth for Alfa Romeo with Babatunde in the other Renault. Sidewinder in the other Red Bull will round out our top 10, and those are all of your top 10 starters. They are all on the soft compound tires. We look now at the other half of the grid. Turtle Rave in the Haas, 11th position on the mediums. We have Wordad behind him in the Racing Point on the mediums as well. Larkin, one of 3 drivers on the back 10 to opt for the soft compound tires. The Alfa Romeo, well, he is on the softs in 13th. Waffle behind him will lead off another train of medium runners with Captain Minor, JA Games, Polo Q, and Ala behind them. Gaziek, 19th position for him. He will be chasing down Paula on the softs, and Paula, I imagine, won't have any problems holding off Gazieg. Chiri, on the other hand, he can be quite the spicy driver. Chiri on the softs. In the Ferrari, of course, will be looking to get closer to his teammate Polypunk this evening. Now, as we come through, here comes Will Gibson, the pole sitter this evening, to the line with Jimsy in second. And this is a very intense race. One thing to note, Will Gibson, if I'm not mistaken, had a disconnection. He will not be able to take control of that car until he is back in the session after formation. And we have seen it before. That car might just break off the line and say, see ya, to the rest of this grid. So we'll just have to see what happens here. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Suzuka, the final car approaching the grid. Will Gibson on pole. We are about to begin 27 laps of racing, and the engines are revving here in Suzuka. 3, 4, 5 red lights here in Suzuka, and the drivers are away. We are racing in Japan. How's the launch? Will Gibson with an immediate squeeze on Jimsy. Who's had a great start here? Steph. He's looking around the outside of the Mercedes. He's gone wide. Jimsy not going to be thrilled about that craft coming out of Will Gibson. Duke Kaboom in fourth still. Not too much exchanging. The Red Bulls are wheel to wheel as we come through the S's, and they have Turtle Rave on the rear. How's it going to go? Jack is just dipping those the left-hand tires in the grass. Turtle Rave's looking at him. Doltz, Babatunde, they're battling side by side coming out of Dunlop. Now, as we come into the first Degner, wheel to wheel, has there been an issue? There's still wheel to wheel as we get under tree cover. These drivers, as we come out of the underpass, there's still wheel to wheel on the opening lap of this race. Doltz, Babatunde coming into the hairpin. Has there been any contact? It looks like Babatunde got it broken down in time. Who's this? JA? No. Wordad? No. Who's dropping? Someone had an issue. All of these drivers so tight in this grid right now. Turtle Rave on the rear of the Red Bull. Simply, he's with Sidewinder, and this is going to cause a huge jam in this grid. Sidewinder simply battling. They're going to fall off. Turtle Rave wheel to wheel with the Red Bull. Jack 5 in 8th position right now. What a race start this has been in Suzuka, and I am super happy to see all of this action right off the hop. Turtle Rave a little deep through the chicane. Here comes Babatunde around the outside, and bye-bye, Will Gibson. What's happened to him? Our timing tower playing a little bit of trickery on us, and there is A safety car deployed. What's happened? There's a car out of this race. Wordad. One of the racing points is out of this race, and as we jump into the second lap of contention, never mind the timing tower, we have a safety car deployment already. Well, that was a very, very intense opening lap. There's definitely going to be a few drivers, maybe with some damage, maybe needing to come in, get onto some different tires. I'm very curious to see what all of these soft runners end up doing here. The race, of course, still presently being led by Will Gibson in the Mercedes. Majority of this grid on the softs, a good chunk on the mediums. I imagine the soft runners might take this opportunity to pit. It could also very well be too early. Will Gibson will be the first driver to indicate maybe what is going to happen here. So you can see now the predicted pit stop strategy on great cue here. Soft, hard, or soft, medium potential strategy options here for the soft starters. Wordad now leaving the session after that unfortunate incident. I am still not entirely sure what unfolded there. Coming through now the chicane, we see the view of Will Gibson. Steph now on the rear of him, and it looks like a good chunk of these racers, yes, majority of these racers all opting to stay out. Babatunde, he's in, and curious to see as to why. He's on the softs. Did he take wing damage in any capacity? Is there a wing being held for him? No. He is not getting a wing changed over. He's just getting some hard compound tires on, and JA has opted for a medium set right behind him. These two drivers now going to drop to the rear of this grid, but they have now shaved off a stop, which is very good in the grand scheme. We'll see what happens. It's a long race. It's an early safety car. You have the maximum potential for 5 safety cars, and that's a mixture of whether it be VSCs or full safety cars. I do not know the weather forecast. There could very well be rain on the horizon. We don't know, but we'll definitely find out. So Will Gibson, Steph, Duke Kaboom, your top 3 at present. Polly Punk in 4th. We've got Jimsy, the Alpha Tauri, in 5th. He has not had the best jump at this race start here. You can see on that opening lap, under safety car conditions, he's dropped 3 positions from where he began on that front row. Will Gibson with the huge squeeze off onto the right-hand side into turn 1. Steph almost had an opportunity to run at him around the outside. He went a little bit deep and wide, and that definitely compromised him as Will kept it tight. But we're definitely going to have to see how things go for Will as he navigates this restart in a few moments. Not clear yet whether or not we're going to be going around again here. I think we may just be going around one more time here, as I think you need to catch the safety car and then go one full lap before it decides to come in. We've already crossed through. Oh, we've got it. Boom. There it is. Safety car in this lap. All right. I'm wrong, and it's time. Will Gibson going to take us away on a safety car restart here to bring us green flag racing on the 4th lap of this Tier 2 campaign for the Americas. Take a look. Steph on the rear of him now. Will Gibson getting things all broken down in that Mercedes. You're required to, of course, slow down the grid at a consistent pace and pace the grid appropriately. No sudden changes in throttle. No sudden brake movements. Steph right now, everything to a crawl, and this could be very bad, very good. Duke Kaboom. Very tight here on the restart. When is Will going? He's gone. Has he caught anybody here? He's gone just before the line. I'll tell you who might have been caught. Steph here. What's happened to Simply? Simply's dropping like a stone through this grid. There is so much action into this first turn right now. Simply trying to close off that inside. Tholta's gone deep and wide. Simply might get through here. Nothing is exchanged at the front just yet, but Jimsy is very tight. We move back to Simply, wheel to wheel with the Alpha. That's Tholtz. There's been a big slide for the Renault, and he's gone into the grass. He's going to drop into the last position on this grid. We move back coming through into Sector 2 now as we come out of Dunlop. Look at the move out of Turtle Rave as we come into the first Degner. Hello, says the Haas. Up the inside of the Red Bull, and there's some fireworks for you. Holy smokes, what a move on the restart for Turtle Rave. That one had me, that almost had me out of my chair. That was absolutely wild. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. And we are racing once again here in Suzuka Paula on the rear of Polo Q. And this is what you love to see, is just tight running action in this grid. Waffle, JA Games. It looks like Waffle might have had an issue. Not sure if it was with his teammate, but look at this. Gazieg, hello. Gazieg says, you've got wing damage. I've got an inside overtake for you. And Duke Kaboom says, bye-bye, Steph. Kaboom is here. Bye-bye, lad. Jimsy wanting to get himself back into that front row. This is huge for him if Duke and Steph continue to fight. However, Will, you can see him there. He's absolutely flying with that 131, 138 on this restart. Steph hunting down Duke Kaboom with Jimsy on the rear with the front row seat. And Jimsy can't take any major risks. Why can't he take any major risks? Because this grid has barely separated and he's got Sidewinder and Polypunk sitting in his rearview mirror as we come through Sector 1. What a race. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. You guys loving it? I hope you guys are loving it. We're only on lap 5. Saw some serious fireworks coming through this first and second Dagner. Last lap through, Polypunk was having a look at Jimsy there. Nothing doing just yet. Turtle Raven, Jack 5 of exchange as we come into the hairpin. And what's happened? Paula's out of this race. Paula's crashed. It's coming out of the second Degner. Paula, no. Unfortunately, the Mercedes, I'm not sure if there was anything with another driver involved there, but I can say from my experience, it is a hot spot for potential traction loss and spin. So we do have another safety car deployment here, and surely some of these soft runners are going to seize this opportunity to get themselves into that pit lane, to change over this rubber, and to get onto a fresh set of something else. I don't know. But I don't think the softs are going to be able to carry them much further through against the medium runners as they've already done. Here we go. Duke Kaboom on the rear of Will. What does Will do? He's coming in. He's on the way in. Duke says, yes, me too. Steph says, no chance. I'm staying out. This might not be the last safety car based on last week. But you can see that pit lane really starting to get busy now as Will Gibson's in. A majority of this grid has decided to come in here with 2 retirements. We are down to 18 drivers. Majority of the tires going on. You can see the white-walled hards are going on here. What a race. What a race dynamic this has already been here for this America's Tier 2 division. I am absolutely loving all of this action. And of course, my name's Strifium here from Canada. I wish I was next to all of these cars in the real world, but hey, this is the second best thing, I suppose, getting to watch Formula 1 in a virtual world. So thanks for hanging. We've got Steph, Polypunk, Sidewinder, now your top 3. They're on the soft compound tires they started this race on. Behind them, they have Turtle Rave, Captain Miner, and Polo Q on their starting mediums. Everybody else in this race is pitted, and majority of the drivers in this race are on the harder compound tire. Tricky thing here, and something I find somewhat comical if I'm being completely honest, is that Will Gibson, not only was he leading this race in a good position, but he's taken out a 12 gauge and blown off his foot with a 5-second penalty. Not only that, but he's thrown on the soft compound tires after 2 safety cars. So he is expecting another opportunity to come in and pit here for either mediums or hards, and that might not be the right strategy call from him. We'll just have to see how it pans out. There have been races where I've seen Will do some pretty outlandish stuff and come out on top, thankfully, due to some other drama in the race, but I don't know if we're going to see what he's expecting in this one. Maybe you guys in the chat can look at it from a strategical standpoint. But of course, it's a fantastic race we've seen so far. A lot of different position changes, some solid highlights and firework overtakes. You can see the position changes for some of the drivers that haven't hit yet have been substantial. Sidewinder and Turtle Rave up 7 apiece. Captain Miner up 10 with Polo Q up 11. Jerry, even though he's pit, he's made up 7 positions, so he's doing very well. Only driver with a penalty is that former race leader of Will Gibson. Fastest lap is also held by Will Gibson. It's a 31.138, and he's showing fantastic pace despite that 5 seconds. I love the scenic views here as we come through Sector 1. Sector 1 of Zuka, such an iconic section. And of course, just one of my favorite circuits. Even to race it in the game, you have a lot of fun. Of course, anyone looking to jump into some league racing action, if this is your first time seeing the MRL or the Misfits Racing League, well, welcome. And thank you for being here. Jump on into the Discord community. We're a fantastic community of racing enthusiasts, Formula 1 enthusiasts, and well, we appreciate you, and we'd love to race with you sometime, and jump on into that Discord. Get some friends. Alrighty, the hairpin now. Everything down to a crawl. Slow section of circuit. Everyone bunched up in this grid. 18 drivers, and Gaziag, no surprise, at the back of the pack in the Williams. Gaziag, shout out to him as he does a great job helping manage the Americas divisions. Of course, Tier 1 and Tier 2. He was formerly a Tier 1 driver, for those that don't know. He had a rival. That rival? Ferrari. That rival's name, Strifium. And just so that everyone's aware, that rivalry, well, unfortunately concluded when he dropped to the second tier. I won. Love you, Gazi. Back to action. Safety car coming in. Steph, he is in charge. He will be slowing down this pack, and you can see he is waiting for that safety car to come in. He's just keeping things a little bit slow, and he's gonna get throttle locked maybe until that safety car hits the pit lane. No, he's on his way in. Here we go. Green flag racing. Who's been caught? Turtle Rave is already on the side of Sidewinder, and he's having a solid look here on the inside coming down into turn 1, and he's gonna go later on the brakes and get that move through. Polo Q, the other Haas just behind. He's having a cheeky look at Captain Minor, and now we want to take a look at the soft runner. This is where the softs need to really, well, come through for Will Gibson. Babatunde, he is going to be a rolling roadblock for the minute for this first sector. Sidewinder, Turtle Rave. Another exchange between the pair of them. Looks like we have ourselves a serious battle between the Haas and the Red Bull as we come in through out of the second Degner now under the, well, under the bridge. Here we go. Polo Q coming through into the hairpin. Man, it is tight, and you love to see tight racing. Who's this? Will Gibson, ladies and gentlemen, gets it through clean on the inside of Babatunde through the hairpin, and that was neatly done. Here he goes now, 7. Will Gibson, he's going to take 6 from Polo Q. There's a little bit of contact. There goes the Haas wide. He's going to come back on the circuit. Where's Babatunde? There's been contact. Babatunde has gone in the grass. He has hit the wall. Is there going to be retirement here? There's a major amount of damage coming off the front right wing somehow, even though he hit it with the left. And is this going to be a safety car? No, it's just a yellow flag, and that was some very questionable driving there. Ooh, Polo Q on the rear of Jack 5 now into the Casio Triangle. He had a look, maybe a late move to that inside. Nothing doing just yet. Turtle Rave says bye-bye to Sidewinder for the second time in 2 laps coming into this first turn. But of course, we saw Sidewinder get him back through this first sector, and we want to see what he did to do so, as we didn't see it last time through. And you can see he's carrying a good chunk of speed here. Babatunde coming through with a 5-second penalty, speeding into the pit lane. That's not what you want to do, but he's going to get onto some mediums now after that issue. Sidewinder this time around not getting as close to Turtle Rave to get back that position. So Turtle Rave is going to be thrilled about that. Will Gibson now, well, he's just taken a 3-second time penalty. And that's going to add now 8 seconds to his total time in this race, which is just not what you want to be doing if you're coming in trying to win races. But he is going to be looking at Captain Minor quite tight. As we come into Spoon, there's a slight tap on the rear, and he's just sitting on the rear of this car. Not an inch given. Polo Q, wheel to wheel. Ooh, Tholtz holding on to 10th, I believe. If not, he's just overtaken that Haas. But I'm following along with Will still. He's on the inside of Captain Minor, and this could be trouble. Come through wheel to wheel on 130R. Captain Minor wide a bit. Will Gibson holds that position now in 5th. Oh! Oh, Polo Q, Cheery. They've had an issue coming out of the final turn. I don't believe there's damage, but they've both lost significant position in this racing campaign, that's for sure. Things fairly quiet now on this 10th lap of contention. Everybody's starting to bring a little bit of separation between themselves. No super tight gaps on the grid just yet. Sidewinder still holding very well with Turtle Rave despite their difference in tires and the life of them. Look at this exit out of the hairpin. Beautiful stuff. Now, how's the move going to go? A little bit squirrely there. A little bit of a late move, maybe. I don't know what happened, but there's been a slight tap. Turtle Rave into the grass, and who's this behind? Will Gibson. What the heck has he just done? He's gone and tapped the inside of that house and given himself a little bit of a trip through the grass. Duke Kaboom says thank you very much and moves through, and that's for serious position. Duke Kaboom is now in net lead of this race on a set of hard compound tires. Don't forget, Will still has to come in. Duke most definitely does not. And who else doesn't? Jim. I think Will might have blown this here. Will, no matter what, though, he's going to have a look at Duke. Right now, Larkin wheel to wheel with JA. JA in 11th position is going to lose it. It's now for points as they've crossed Steph. Steph came in for a fresh set of hards. Larkin into that final points paying position. Now that JA sees that, he's going to be even hungrier to get that back. See now, Sidewinder into second position. Turtle Raven third. Captain Miner hunting down that Haas, and there's a 3-second time penalty. Not sure what's happened. Now JA. We were just talking about JA. It looks like there's been an issue. What's happened? Cheery is off in the gravel. Does JA have damage? He does not on that front end, and that's fortunate. And it looks like there might have been maybe an issue coming through Sector 1 there. Duke Kaboom, Will Gibson, Jimsy, all very tight. Jack 5 is in it as well. Will Gibson ahead of Duke. Seriously trying to get himself some separation. Captain Miner will be the driver that can provide that for him. And as we sit here, I've been trying to figure out the last time it was that I did a solo cast commentary. It's been quite a while, but I have to say, I thoroughly enjoy it. Not a lot of people probably realize I can talk this much. Lesson learned. Turtle Rave, Captain Miner with a serious exchange into turn 1. Now that's also for position considering they're on the same strategy. Captain Miner, he's going to be thrilled as Polypunk came in. Polypunk is onto a fresh set of mediums. Due to the safety cars, he hasn't had quite the opportunity to separate himself. Now behind, there's an issue. What the heck has happened? Will Gibson is out of this race. And I'm trying to figure out where the heck his car is. Where is he crashed? He's crashed on the inside. Ooh, Alex is off, I think. That's where that was. If you know, you know. But that is a huge crash. But you know what? Thankfully for Will, no safety car deployed after that crash. Everybody just kind of gets to continue going about their day. That's great for Turtle Rave, Jimsy, Jack 5 in this absolute duel with the hards. Thoroughly enjoying this race. Alright, now Sidewinder has finally pulled the plug on the softs. You love to see it. What a stint that was from him. Now we'll see what he's able to do on a fresh set of hards for the remaining laps of this race. Jimsy, Duke, ooh, tight, tight, tight. Very tight as that AlphaTauri almost went into the rear of Duke. Let's take a look at how it looks maybe in the rearview mirrors for this driver. Polo Q and Cheery, they've exchanged Jack 5 and Tholtz. What's happened here? Tholtz, did he get through on Jack and maybe have an issue rounding that corner? Jack looks like he wants to get that switchback done. Of course, it's mediums versus hards at the minute. These mediums going to have a little bit more pace in them for a time. Duke Kaboom, tight to Turtle Rave. Oh, you love to see battling like this. Here comes Jimsy. Duke Kaboom. Everyone is in this train, and it's being led by a medium runner who's dropping off of Captain Miner. Captain Miner is going to be absolutely loving that, because he was able to overtake Turtle Raven and just fly. More separation he's able to afford himself. And the longer that Turtle Rave holds up these guys is better. Here he comes in, though. He's just going to unleash Duke and Jimsy now. Bolt's a little bit further back, and he's got Jack 5 on the rear of him. We go back to Jimsy and Duke, nothing doing yet. Jack 5 and Tholtz, nothing doing for them just yet. Ooh, it was tight for Jack looking in on that inside, and there's a snap. Good for him to get it corrected. You love to see it. Pit stop's coming through now. Where is Sidewinder? Sidewinder lands in 13th. Where did Turtle Rave land? Well, they've got Steph between them. Turtle Rave, 5 seconds on the rear of Sidewinder, and Sidewinder has Steph crawling right up his gearbox. That's good for Steph. Maybe not so good for Sidewinder. Alright, we're on lap 14 out of 27. Duke Kaboom fending off from the Alpha Tauri of Jimsy. Jimsy's teammate Captain Miner leading this race on 13 lap old mediums right now. Nearly 2 seconds the gap to the second place runner. Of course, Captain Miner yet to come in off of those tires, but he is building himself a little bit of a gap, and Jimsy wants to try and make sure that gap gets larger, so maybe he's able to put some pressure onto Duke here in the coming moments. He will have DRS into turn 1. What's happened here? What the heck? I switched on over to Jack to see if there was going to be a move on the Alfa Romeo, and I have to say, something big happened there, because a severe collision penalty has been handed down from the stewards. Tholtz on his way into the pit lane takes 5 seconds for speeding, and he's going to maybe get a set of tires fixed onto that car. No safety car, no VSC as a result of that incident. Cheery sticking well with JA Games, who has made his way into 8th position after that commotion. Duke Kaboom and Jimsy, I'm sorry to say we missed it with the major accident there, but Jimsy and Duke have exchanged. Jimsy, Duke Kaboom have switched positions. Duke was in second a moment ago, and now Jimsy is going to catch up with Captain Miner. Captain Miner, well, he's in a very good position to set himself up as Unicorn, my great co-commentator on Tier 1 Action, would say. A rolling roadblock for this racing point is what Captain Miner needs to become right now, because Duke Kaboom running with Jimsy. Well, Jimsy's been showing us some clear-cut pace right now over Duke, but if Jimsy is able to get a little bit of separation, a little bit of breathing space, that would be all the more better for the Alpha Tauris here. Let's see if Captain Miner pulls the plug and jumps into the pit lane. Nope, they're going to roll it, and Jimsy's going to have that DRS at least down into turn 1. Duke still got it, but here comes the exchange between the Tauris. Boom, there goes Jimsy on the inside, as easy as you like. And now it's time for rolling roadblock through Sector 1 for Captain Miner here, if they're doing any kind of team tactics. Alright, J.A. Cheery through turn 1. J.A. Cheery, it's wheel-to-wheel through Sector 1, and this can always go badly for 1, maybe 2 drivers. We'll see. There's been a spin. That's Cheery. We were just going to say it. What's going to happen here? Turtle Rave is coming through. Where's Cheery? He's trying to get back on circuit. Where's Waffleorian? He's coming back, and Cheery, thankfully, not across the track. in that Ferrari. That could have been very bad. I saw the tires in the rear try to get the car back onto that circuit, but man, that would have been a bad time to do it. Polypunk looking to avenge his teammate here up the inside into the hairpin. JA on the outside right now. A solid exit could be the solution for the Ferraris here, but JA on the 9-lap old hards has a better exit than Polypunk. Sidewinder in that Ferrari. He is going to try and apply pressure to the Ferrari just the same. And this is a pressure cooker for these final few points paying positions. Steph in 11th. He's on some fresh hards, getting himself just within that. Well, he's trying to stay with Sidewinder. We saw Sidewinder in him. It was tight with them a few laps ago. Steph, he's trying to keep that DRS, but of course there's only the one DRS range or zone. As Duke Kaboom, we say it, gets back into second position. This time it's Jimsy in first and Captain Minor in third, and we saw the flip side of that a few laps ago. Back to Polypunk on JA though. As we come into turn 1, the McLaren is going to drop a position. We saw them wheel to wheel through out of here last run through on lap 16, but of course this time JA, the tires are going to hurt him a bit. What's happened? There's been an issue. Sidewinder is out of this race, the Red Bull, and there is a third safety car deployed lap 17, and this is really going to now shake up this race even further in Japan. What a dynamic race we have seen this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am really seeing so much dynamic racing. We've seen so many risks being taken through in this circuit. It's been such a wild ride. We now have 4 drivers out of this race. We have gone from 20 who began down to 16 remaining, and wow, there goes Captain Minor into Duke Kaboom under the safety car. That is a very unfortunate incident there. Fortunately, I think no penalty awarded. The Duke Kaboom on the 11-lap old hard staying out. Larkin staying out. Jack 5 is staying out. Jimsy, where is he going to land on the fresh softs? He's coming out. Who's that? Steph. Jimsy has secured 5th position on fresh soft compound tires, and I have to say that puts him in a very good position for a potential win. Simply, who is now in 6th position, has also fitted a fresh set of softs. He is in a great position over the runners ahead. Gazieg himself could also very well be in a good position considering he has quicker rubber, fresher rubber. There are a couple of drivers with penalties, and we'll just have to see how things play out, as we are now going to be under safety car conditions, I think, until lap 20, where I think we'll see green flag racing on lap 23 to the end of this campaign now. We have had a variety of safety cars, and man, let's get comments in the chat. Love to hear your thoughts on what you think of this race on a scale of 1 to 10. Give us a comment in the chat. 1 being, well, not so great, and 10 being batshit crazy. Pardon my français. I think I'm allowed to say that word on broadcast. I can't recall, but I'll just say it's been a wild ride. Apologies for the bad word, as Charles Leclerc would put it on his team radio. But this race has certainly shown us some intense wheel-to-wheel action, I think is a fair way to put it. It's been a unique run. Lap 19 now. We're still under safety car conditions, and of course, like I had said, lap 20 is more than likely going to be the time for us to go green flag running again, and what I hope will be to the end of this campaign. Been a very fun and enjoyable race with Duke Kaboom now in lead. Let's take a look at the position changes for how things have gone after 18 full laps, we'll say. Duke Kaboom up 3 positions into lead. Larkin up 11. Jack 5 has moved up 4 slots. Steph has moved up 1. Steph has dropped down 1. Jimsy has dropped down 3. Simply has remained in 6th. He's held the station in 6th all race long, surprisingly enough, given he's had 2 stops. We look at Turtle Rave, he's moved up 4. We have Gaziag up 11. Waffle up 5. Captain up 5. JA up 5. Polo Q up 5. It's trending. Poly Punk, excuse me, he is down 8, unfortunately. Chiri up 6. Baba down 6, and then we have Tholtz down 8 with 4 retirements. Sidewinder, Will Gibson, Paula, and We're Dead. Both Mercedes out of this race, surprisingly enough. Alright, Duke leading us away here on this restart. I imagine the safety car will be coming in here. They're going to cross the split in just a few seconds. There we go. The lights are out. Drivers are now slowing things down, and Duke Kaboom will be in charge once again for the 3rd time this evening. Well, not him specifically, but it will be the 3rd restart we have had now this evening under safety car. Duke to the chicane. Who is keeping things super tight on this grid? Are we going to see any possible overtakes very quick off the restart? Chiri was keeping things tight. He's taking a penalty for it, I think. Maybe Baba. Duke Kaboom's away though. Larkin. Ooh, Jack 5's got his number. Here we go. Number 2. The position is up for grabs on the inside now. Jack 5. Does he get this? It's tight. Larkin finds some traction and some power on those mediums, and he's going to get out back in front of Jack. And that was almost close for him to losing that 2nd position. Steph on the rear of Jack 5 now. Because that risk was taken from Jack, it didn't pay off super well. You can see Steph a little bit more traction, a little bit more rubber on those tires, is going to have a look at him. But look, Jimsy, Simply, they are on some serious rubber, and they are going to fly through this field in just a moment's time, I imagine, as we come out of this hairpin. Look at Jimsy. Does he look at the inside for Steph? Yes, he does. It's tight. There goes the AlphaTauri on the inside of the Williams. Simply has the front row seat. Jimsy now wheel to wheel with Steph. Steph using a little bit of battery, I imagine, to try and push out here, but a solid exit through out of that hairpin is going to hold off Jimsy for now. What a defense. But you can see the traction in comparison here coming out of this AlphaTauri. Here goes the run into 130R as we come out of Spoon. Jimsy, what speed you can see in comparison. He is just sitting on the rear wing of this Williams. You can see Sofina as clear as day. Around the outside now into the chicane. We're not getting the best view of it. There's a little bit of contact. What's happened now? Someone's dropping through this grid. It's Turtle Rave. There's been an issue in the chicane for the Haas driver, and he's going to try and get that back on the circuit. Here goes Jimsy on Steph, finally into turn one. Things are tight. Things are wheel to wheel for the pair of them. Jimsy on the inside is going to get it done. There's a slight tap. Both drivers thankful to get it corrected. I imagine Simply hunting in this Renault on this restart. Lovely stuff. Lovely racing, just action-packed intensity, and it's just all coming down to these last few laps around the Suzuka International Racing Circuit between drivers that necessarily don't have penalties. You've got Steph with 3 seconds. You've got Jack with 3 seconds. Waffle with 3 seconds. Polo has 3 seconds. Chiri, unfortunately, with 5. Babatunde in that club, and Turtle Rave, well, he's having a party of his own, 39 seconds down listening to some rave music. And he has a penalty as well of 3 seconds. That's unfortunate to see. What a strong race that he had. Potentially finish in that position, as that is a significant gap to try and break down here. Chiri, Polo Q. Man, it's a tight grid once again on these restarts. And Jack 5, he is still well within Larkin's range. Same with Larkin on Duke. And these runners on the harder compound tires. Look at Jack 5. Major cut there He's surely going to take a warning for that. He is going to get Larkin. So is Jimsy. Whoa. Jimsy really taking advantage of his opportunities here, and he's got another one coming right up. He sets fastest lap, a 29.678. Does he have the inside on this Red Bull? He's looking for it. Does he take it? Not enough space. Man, oh man, what racing we're seeing here. Waffle, Captain Minor exchanging, simply tight to Steph still. Jimsy on the rear of Jack 5 as we come up through Dunlop. There's definitely going to be a tire degradation factor here for the Red Bull versus the sister car. Grass isn't going to help the issue, Jack. Jim, well, he has your number and is coming for it right now. Big Ames, he's in 10th position. He's tight to the rear of his teammate Waffalorian at the moment, and he has a good set of rubber on that McLaren. He's looking for it now as we come out of the hairpin. We're on our way down into Spoon, and there goes a position exchange for JA and his teammate Waffalorian. JA will be thrilled to be moving through this grid right now, and he is still within range of Captain Minor, Gazieg, and a whole whack of cars in this field. You can see Gazieg within 3/10 of course of Simply. Jimsy looking at Jack 5 as we come into the chicane now. We saw things get a little bit scary through here last time around. How are things going this time around? Jimsy's on the inside as we come out of the final turn, and he is ahead of that Red Bull, and he's going to be thrilled about it. And there's a 4th safety car deployed, and I haven't got a clue why. There is a car out here at the Casio Triangle. It's Babatunde in the Renault. And on lap 23, out of 27, we have a 4th safety car deployment here in Russia. Not Russia, excuse me. I'm thinking back to last week. In Suzuka. Deja vu, maybe. I don't know. What an interesting campaign this has developed into now. Duke Kaboom. Everybody's just holding it here. They're just, you know what, let's just keep it out. We're just going to stay out here. No tire changes. I don't think anybody even has any tires left now. I have to say, it has been just a wild ride and a wild commentary, to say the least. And I just want to say, if you've been enjoying the commentary, let me know in the chat. I'll be looking later on. I greatly appreciate you all supporting it. If you want to see more solo casts, feel free to come let me know. You can always visit me and say hello and shoot me a message via the Discord. And if you haven't joined the Misfits Discord, jump on in there. It's a great place to meet some great friends for racing, where I've met all of these great folks. Alrighty, I think we're coming in here. I think it's just gonna say, screw it, we're coming in safety car. Cross the line, Duke Kaboom. Nope, not yet. So we're gonna be going around, and we're gonna have a very, very short sprint race now for this grid to the end. Few drivers this is good for. One more trip around, and Cheery will be the driver to come into the pit lane here. We have 15 drivers remaining, and there's a couple with fresh softs that are going to be doing what they can to get themselves into the points. Anyone with penalties right now is not in a very good position. Everybody with penalties has 3-second time penalties, though, which is a key factor here, as they wouldn't want to be stuck with a 5-second or worse. Ooh, Jack 5. That's not what you want to be doing under the safety car, my friend. 17 lap old hards. They are going to be a little bit slippy for you, and they will not help you if you're facing the wrong way. It's all come down to this now, ladies and gentlemen. 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Polo Q. Just kidding. We're on lap 24 out of 27. The safety car is more than likely going to be coming in at the end of this lap. I would be shocked. I was going to say surprised, but I decided to go with shocked. I'd be shocked if it didn't. And I would be shocked if Duke Kaboom won this race with 17 lap old hards with Jimsy sitting on his rear with the fresh softs. I have Jimsy as the race winner here. Let's take a look and see what happens. Safety car coming in from race control. My name's Strifium. I hope you've enjoyed this Tier 2 America's broadcast. The lights are out on that Mercedes, and we are just about ready and set to go back to green flag racing for now the 4th time. After now, this will be the 4th safety car restart. Duke Kaboom, ladies and gentlemen, slowing things down in a very interesting manner here. Car is quite tight. Everybody taking every advantage they can as we come to the line now. Duke Kaboom, he is going to go away. Here's Jimsy, Jack 5, everyone tight down in this restart. It's an absolute train. Who's going to have the best look? Steph has an absolute laser view down into turn 1. He's gone into the rear of Larkin. Steph has absolutely just thrown that Alfa Romeo into a seriously bad slide, and there is a massive issue in this first sector on the safety car restart. But I'll tell you something, Jimsy's looking at Duke still. They don't care about what's happening behind them. They have one target, and that's the top step of that podium. Jack 5, Captain Minor, 3rd and 4th. Gaziag is now in the top 5. Simply due to that issue, of course, he has broken off nearly a 1.5 seconds trying to get himself through that first sector. Jimsy very tight to the rear of Duke as we come into the hairpin. That inside was nearly open there for Jimsy, and I thought he was going to take it, but he's decided, well, considering what's going on behind him, he might have a little bit more of a window of an opportunity to get this move done on Duke. He might even slide that racing point. Now we've had another issue. That's Polypunk having an issue coming through out of the first sector still in that Ferrari. I cannot believe how this race has gone. Here goes Jimsy up the inside into the chicane. We're looking for a solid camera to get the view of all of this. Duke Kaboom defending with everything he's got, but it's not gonna be enough. Jimsy around the outside into the penultimate lap of this race. Duke Kaboom with a straight line speed setup that I have never seen. Look at the run on these hards. It's gonna be very difficult for Jimsy to overtake Duke Kaboom through this first sector. Look at that hold from the racing point. What craft we're seeing come out of him. We are on the penultimate lap of this race, and Jimsy needs to pull this trigger soon, or he might be in serious trouble for this race win. Jack 5, Captain Minor, penalties on the rear of them. 6 for Jack, 3 for Captain Minor, and Gaziag might inherit 2 positions for a podium here. That could be huge for the Canadian after a very bad string of races through his time in Tier 1, and of course recently in Tier 2 as the first round in Singapore went for him. Larkin, Tholtz, they've exchanged Tholtz on the fresher rubber. Ollie Punk with a retirement. It's in the pit lane. Larkin looking back up the inside of his teammate, and I'm not sure what Tholtz is doing on the softs. Does he have damage? No damage. Excuse me. I correct myself. He's missing a front right end plate from my view now. All right, back to the front end. This is where it's at. This is where it's about to go down. We're about to enter the last lap of this race, ladies and gentlemen, and we're here around Suzuka, our circuit, where a lot of iconic racing has gone down times past. And here it goes. Duke Kaboom, 19 laps, soon to be 20 lap old hards versus Jimsy on the 8 lap old softs. Here comes the run out of the AlphaTauri. He's going to have that overtake. He isn't going to use it, though. He hasn't even got the DRS because we haven't got DRS on the final run with that safety car coming out as late as it did. Jimsy needs to hold on to everything he's got. There's Polypunk's retired car, but this is a fight for the race win between Duke Kaboom and Jimsy. And man, what a battle we are about to see unfold. There isn't a lot of action happening further down the grid. You can see Captain Minor and Jack 5 exchanged. The softs are just a solid tire. Duke Kaboom is bringing a lot out of this car in comparison to Jack 5 right now. They're starting to even pull themselves out of the train. You can see Captain Minor is not that far off of his teammate. The big thing here for Gazieg is that he is out of range, really, of any major points if he doesn't pull himself back closer to Jack 5 soon. Duke Kaboom now on the final run into Spoon. We're on lap 27 out of 27. When is Jimsy going to pull the trigger on this racing point? There's a major tire differential, but Duke Kaboom's straight line was just so strong. Here we go, battery in full utilization. He's dumping it. He's using everything he's got. The AlphaTauri on the rear of the racing point as we come through into 130R. Less than half a second the gap. He's still dumping that battery. He is using everything he has got to come into this chicane. Duke Kaboom coming through. There's a slight tap. Jimsy trying to get that car rotated. Here comes the exit. This is it. There's a big slide. Jimsy on the exit's gone into the pit median, and that is him out of the points. Oh my. Duke Kaboom, Captain Minor simply are your podium here. Gazieg misses it narrowly in fourth with Cheery in the Ferrari rounding out the top 5 racers. Jack 5 and 6th. Polo Q in 7th. Waffle in 8th, Larkin in 9th, and it's Turtle Rave collecting the final points paying position here after a 13-car finale. 14 if we include Jimsy to the line, 15 if we include Polypunk before his penultimate lap retirement. I am beyond finding the words to explain the action that I have seen here around Japan tonight for this Tier 2 America's Grid. My oh my, what a race! What a race! Cheery with the driver of the day. He'll love it. There it is. There it is. The podium for the Racing Point, who held it so valiantly on the hard compound tires, to watch the AlphaTauri of Jimsy collide with the pit median on the final run to the line. He takes the win, ladies and gentlemen. It was Duke Kaboom. Remember the name, from 4th to the race win here. The fastest lap from him was also a 29.947, a very solid run. Captain Minor from 15th to 2nd, and it was simply collecting that podium position for Canada here. And I have to say, as a Canadian myself, I am very, very thrilled about that. Gazi with an okay drive. He went 19th to 4th, but still not what we've expected from him. Gazieg came in here saying he was going to win races. He hasn't been able to win races. And, well, personally, as my longtime rival, I'm not going to be happy until he starts winning races. So, Gazi, better luck next week, my friend. Cheery, what a solid drive. 20th to 5th for him. Jack 5, 7th to 6th is Polo Q, 17th to 7th. And we saw Waffle Orion go from 14th to 8th. Larkin from 13th to 9th, and it was Turtle Rave who started this race in 11th. What an interesting drive he had. He finished it in 10th. The fastest lap was a 128.123 from Steph. Steph, unfortunately, did not get that within the top 10, so he will not be awarded that point. What a race this was, though, and thank you so much to everybody for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed it, and, well, we'll just have to see you all next week for the United States, which I imagine will just be even more exciting than this race. But, of course, if you did enjoy it, help us out. Hit that like button, leave us a comment, give us a shout in the chat, and, well, my name's Strifium, and that is going to be it for, of course, this evening's Japanese GP racing action.